Do you find yourself looking for new ways to simplify cooking at home, but you're not sure where to begin? Well, I have got you covered because that is exactly what we are going to talk about today on Tasty Tidbits with Tiff. My name is Tiffany and I am so excited you're here. I help burnt out millennials who feel overwhelmed with life find a supportive community that inspires them to become the best version of themselves. If that is something that you are looking for, check out my link in the description and follow me on social media for daily tips, tricks, recipes, and inspiration. And reach out to me personally with your questions and how we can grow and learn together. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about 6 ways to simplify cooking with sheet pans. But that's not all. I also have a super simple strategy to help you create your weekly meal plan in minutes. So be sure to stick around until the end so we can all save time, money, and energy in our kitchens while cooking at home. So let's get started. Before we jump into our first tip, I would love for you to drop a comment, say hi, where you are watching from, so we can grow and get excited together about simplifying our cooking in the kitchen. So the first tip is to pick your produce. Now, when it comes to roasting produce, you want to choose options that cook at similar times. Most of them are going to roast at similar temperatures, really somewhere between 400 to 450. But you want to choose ones with similar times so that way they are all going to be done at the same time. Now, if you find yourself with various ones, so for example, usually asparagus, green beans, mushrooms, tomatoes are all going to roast around 20 to 25 minutes. Now, your more starchy vegetables such as potatoes, sweet potatoes, squash, pumpkins, and leeks, those are going to take longer, typically around 40 to 45 minutes. Well, if you find yourself wanting to roast some peppers and asparagus as well as some potatoes, what are you going to do? You don't want to have them on the same sheet pan. So this is where modular sheet pans come to your rescue. Modular sheet pan set is a 3-pan set that fits perfectly inside of our half sheet pan. So not only does it allow you to cook more because you can have stuff roasting at different temperatures, or not different temperatures, different times, but you can also control the flavors, different seasonings, and so much more. But we'll get to that here in a moment. But you want to make sure that you are taking all of that into consideration. Now, our second tip is to preheat those pans. Now, as you're preheating your oven, stick the pans in right away, whether you're using a half sheet pan, large sheet pan, or the modular sheet pan set. Stick them in the oven right before you start preheating so they can preheat with the oven. This is going to help brown the food and give it a nice, rich flavor, plus enhancing that crispy coating. So this is perfect for roasting veggies and any breaded protein options. Now, before we jump into our third tip, I want to hear from you. What is your go-to sheet pan meal on a busy night? Drop it in the comments below. Or if you have never tried sheet pan meals, comment never. I would love to know where my newbies are at. And towards the end, I will share some of my personal favorites that we make on a regular basis, just in case you find yourself with the need for some inspiration. Now, our third tip to simplify your dinner with sheet pans is to control the crowd. Now, if you're like me, you're just a little OCD when it comes to making sheet pan meals. One of my favorites is a Cajun sheet pan meal, and I make that sheet pan look perfect when it comes to positioning out the sliced andouille, diced potatoes, and strips of bell pepper. But it's important to have some space in between. So picture an air fryer if you have one of those. You have air circulating all around inside there, around the trays. So you need to have space. Well, it's very similar to your sheet pans in the oven, minus, of course, the airflow circulation. But by having a space in between your meats, veggies, and starches, it allows for more airflow to have an even cooking, even browning, plus temperature distribution, so it's going to all cook evenly. If your food is on there too thick, too crowded, that airflow doesn't happen, and it typically results in your food being very bland, no flavor, and sometimes even still cold with those vegetables. We don't want that. So leave room for air, leave a little bit of space. The modular sheet pans can also help with this by separating out your meats from your starches and your other vegetables. Now, our fourth tip is to time it out. Now, as I mentioned before, not all of your veggies and proteins are going to cook at the same time. So, modular sheet pans to the rescue! And with those, you can have your meat or fish, your protein source on one sheet pan, you can have your starches on a different sheet pan, and the rest of your veggies on that third sheet pan. So all of those, again, fit perfectly into a half sheet pan, but you can then put what needs to be in the oven first, that takes the longest to cook, and then set those timers so you know when to add the other sheets to that big half sheet pan, so everything is done and ready to go at the same time for everyone to sit down and eat that dinner together at the family table. Now, before we jump into the last two tips, I want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media. Because not only do we have Tasty Tidbits with Tiff happening every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Central, I am constantly dropping videos, tips, tricks, recipes, and more inspiration. And I would hate for you to miss out on the next behind the scenes look inside my tasting room. Now, our fifth tip is to rotate your pans. And I'm sure this is something that you heard all the time growing up when baking cookies with your parents or grandparents. Not all ovens have very good circulation, and they all have hot and cold spots. So by rotating your sheet pans, this allows for a better even cooking and distribution of the heat and airflow. And our last tip is to get creative. When it comes to a sheet pan, they are not hard. They are so simple. Simply pick your protein, grab your veggies, plus or minus a starch, throw it on the sheet pan. Remember to leave space for air. Spritz it with oil, sprinkle your seasoning, roast it, and enjoy. It is that simple. Now, of course, if you're looking for different flavors, that's where the modular sheet pans come in handy, because you can separate your protein from your starches and your other veggies and have different seasonings for each one to come all together at the end. Now, some of my favorite sheet pan meals are a Cajun sheet pan. We've got some pork and sweet potatoes, perfect for fall. Steak flank taco or flank steak tacos. Words are hard sometimes, am I right? And tabbouleh cauliflower steaks for my vegetarian friends out there. Now, if you are in need of more inspiration, let's keep this momentum going with these 3 simple tips to help you create your meal plan in minutes. First one is to implement theme days. Some of our go-to theme days are Meatless Monday, Taste Buds Tuesday, Travel Thursday, Stir Friday, which is also a great way to use up those veggies in your fridge, Slow Cooker Saturday, and Super Sunday. We like to have at least one day in there where there is nothing planned out, just in case you have a ton of leftovers or you just don't feel like cooking, and some takeout or delivery pizza sounds so much better. Second is to incorporate family favorites. So pull your family and see what are some of their favorite recipes. Now, this is especially helpful for those of you with picky eaters. When they have a recipe on the meal plan that they love and enjoy, picky eaters are more likely to try something new that's on the meal plan, because they know, just in case they don't like it, they have that other option to look forward to or have leftovers in the fridge to enjoy. And number 3 is to try Taste Buds. Taste Buds takes the guesswork out of cooking by delivering simple recipes and delicious seasonings right to your door. But that's not all. You also get exclusive insider perks, which allow you to get additional products at a discount. Sometimes you even get access to exclusive products, such as some early access season or holiday products that can't be found with the general public. Plus, you get exclusive seasonings that are nowhere in the catalog, have never been released before, to try first and give your feedback just to see if it's something that you think should become a permanent part of the collection. So if you are ready to try Taste Buds or save even more time and money and energy in your kitchen, comment busy or shoot me a message on social media and I will hook you up with my free weeknight recipe guide so you can start saving time, money, and energy in your kitchen right away today. And check out my website to grab your trial of Taste Buds this month for exclusive access to something that has never been happened before.